Good evening and welcome to Side 21 and the premiere episode of our brand new series, The Jungles of Paldir. My name is Hunter Grundman. I will be serving as the Dungeon Master for this story, but we have a wonderful table of players I would love you to meet, so let's go ahead and introduce all of our players for this series.
Hi, my name is Aaron Hammondtree, and I am playing Halibor Halrod, the Halfling Wizard.
Hi, I'm Goss. I'm playing Morga Stoneheart, the Goliath Paladin.
Hi, my name is Emily. I'm going to be playing Abigail, the Summer Elf Druid.
Hey, I'm Hunter Douglas, and I'll be playing Lethariel Brookmere, the half-wood elf bard.
Alrighty, if this is your first time checking out our content, I hope you enjoy. You can find all of our previous VODs over at Side 21 TV on YouTube. We're also on all other social media at Side 21 TV. We'd love to see you there. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the premiere episode of The Jungles of Paldir. Three weeks following the aftermath of the destruction of High Moon and the appearance of Bane on the material plane. With all of their traditional heroes and soldiers committed to the defense of the city and Faerun as a whole, the Council of Four, the rulers of Baldur's Gate, sent out a desperate cry for help, calling on anyone capable. These unlikely heroes will be charged with retrieving a divine relic of legend that may be able to kill a god. An ancient sword lost for untold centuries. The Archmage of Baldur's Gate, through a desperate communion with Mystra, has learned of this sword's location, buried deep within a temple of the Yathamane on the uncharted island of Paldir. The only information known about the island of Paldir is that it is the likely location of the fabled pirate stronghold of Raventide Keep. It's largely surrounded in mystery, and many expeditions to explore the island have resulted in explorers going missing. The stronghold is believed to be somewhere on the northwestern side of the island, and shipwrecks also seem to be very common in the area surrounding.
Oh no.
Sea of Monsters.
The ship groans beneath you, its hull creaking like an old man's bones. Salt clings to the air, thick and metallic, and the sea churns with a restless energy that seems to whisper warnings in every wave. Rain lashes the deck above, and the lanterns sway and roll with each passing of the tide, casting long, flickering shadows across the cramped hold where you sit. You are not alone. Around you, new companions, silent for now, share the same uneasy passage. Each face is marked by tension, resolve, or the quiet calculation of someone who knows they may not return. Ship is bound for an island few speak of, and fewer survive. It has no maps or history, only rumors in taverns and warnings in old journals. A relic of divine origin, buried deep in the jungle's belly, the Archmage of Baldur's Gate has charged you with its recovery, claiming it may be the only weapon capable of slaying the god Bane, who has broken through the veil and now walks the material plane. No maps, no guides, only a destination and a promise. If you succeed, you will change the fates of this world. The ship lurches, and a hatch above you suddenly slams open. A grizzled sailor looks down and barks into the hold. 2 hours till landfall. Lantern flickers again, silence stretches, and now in the dim light and the scent of salt and steel, you see each other clearly. Abigail, where do you sit in this space, this hull underneath this creaking wooden ship? You hear the rainfall above you. There's some crates around, lanterns hanging from the ribbed wooden walls of the interior here. Please introduce your character for us.
So in front of you all, you see a pretty average height summer elf. She has a very warm orangey pink kind of complexion, and she's got herself wedged in between two of the large ribs that go up the side of the ship, sitting on top of a crate, kind of trying to keep herself level and keep the seasickness at bay as much as she can. She's got her feet up, pulled in front of her, and she's just kind of swaying and keeping an eye on all of you. She's got a wild, massive head of red hair, and she has all kinds of bits and baubles just popping out of her hair that she likes to collect and affix upon her. She has her large sword with her to cut through the brush when we get to the jungle, and you can see that she is the one keeping the lanterns on, making sure that the flame stays somewhat consistent with her controlling of them. And she kind of looks over, specifically at Halbor, and she's going to go, "Oh, you're all right, little man." Just kind of checking in on everyone between him and Lothario, or you guys would have all figured out that she's called him Letty by now. And just kind of making sure everyone's keeping their stomach's contents within them for now, in this final stretch.
I would go back and respond and go, "The swaying's a bit much for me, but I can stand on my own 2 feet, thankfully."
All right.
And Halbor, go ahead and introduce your character to us. What is this voice coming from?
You would look and see a halfling. Very well-loved clothing. He's got a bright blue, well, maybe not bright, but a blue vest coat that he's like a little too small for. He only stands about 3 feet tall when he's on his tippy toes, and he pretends to do that a lot. He's got a very long staff for a halfling that he also uses as a walking stick, and that is currently what's like planted in the deck to allow him to maintain what little balance he has. He seems very skinny, little wiry perhaps. Well-loved pants and like a undershirt, a tunic. It's got like holes in the chest, holes in the knees, all patched up. And you notice that he is very pale. Looks like he hasn't seen a lot of sun, and has bright white hair.
Awesome, yeah.
And he's got a book on his side that he likes to, he runs his thumb over it unconsciously, all the time. And he's a little hunched over, leaning on his staff, trying to maintain what stomach contents he has himself. But he puts on a brave face.
Awesome. You look across here. You've been spoken to now by Abigail. As you look across, there are 2 other figures down here in this space with you. And you guys have all had a chance to at least spend a few minutes with each other when you all answered the call from the Archmage of Baldur's Gate. So this isn't necessarily your very first interaction, but you were all pretty new acquaintances at best. So Halbor, as you look across, you see a figure that to you must be a giant. Morga, if you could describe your character for us, please.
So standing against the wall of the ship, balancing against her 2-hand, just like this, just kind of trying to keep it together. There is Morga Stoneheart. She is a Goliath paladin with purple hair, and she's got this really shiny armor with a bunch of necklaces with teeth, and she just is smirking over at Halbor, trying to keep his stomach together. and she'll just speak up and go, just take some deep breaths. Really, really slow. In a very Russian-like accent that I can't do
Yet.
yet.
Palbor takes that deep breath, and you see his eyes like cross a little bit, and he just like shakes his head, and he's like, "Deep breaths probably aren't the best for me right now. Too much ocean spray."
I'm just gonna smirk and go, find yourself a bucket.
I can make any mess disappear. Don't worry about me.
Oh.
And then a final figure here in this space, kind of listening to the three of you make small talk here. Lothario, if you could introduce yourself.
Yeah, so you'd see a kind of lithe, skinnier, average height, maybe like a bit above average, but or a bit below average, I mean, sorry. But I'm kind of curled up in the corner underneath the crate, like at the foot of the crate where Abigail is sitting on top of, and just kind of facing the wall away from everybody. I have you'd see like some like basic leather armor kind of over like a what looks like maybe like kind of a frilly fancier shirt, but it's definitely kind of like that off-white and like worn, you know, but kind of poking through. And then you would see like a flute strapped to my my hip on the left side, and I'd just be sitting there kind of tuning this like a small harp just in my lap, kind of facing away, with a mask on that's kind of narrow and comes down to a point, but is like in the shape of like a leaf with just like eye holes coming through. But behind that, he's like desperately trying to fight nausea, and just like, B, do you think we're there yet?
They said we're close. Keep it together as long as you can, or I'll give you a little pep before we get there.
And wait for land.
Just gonna like slap the side of the box to like motivate you out of it and try and like get you to the nearest bucket.
Thank you.
Hey, you hold it together. If I can do it, you can do it.
It's the little one talking to me.
I think so.
I'll be fine. Don't worry about me.
He is quite small, isn't he?
Let's go back to kind of like
I just start doing one of these, and I'm like up to your knee. Just
8
like-
feet tall, like.
I'm gonna ask you all something in this moment. You know, you none of you are typically the tip of the spear when it comes to saving the world or even defending the place that you're from necessarily. This undertaking that you have been asked to be a part of has left a weight on your shoulders that I don't think any of you have really experienced before. So I want to go around and ask all of you, what is going through your character's head now as you hear 2 hours until landfall, heading to this island that few return from, trying to find a sword that might save the world. And I'm just going to go in my player list order. Abigail, I'm going to start with you.
Abigail would probably be pretty excited to be able to help the world in this way and make some sort of impact on the mortals that she's had such an affinity for most of her younger elven life. I feel like she would have probably read about these legends that the sword is from, and it's almost like getting to see where it's made. So as much as she feels a lot of things riding on it, she's almost in like a spectator mode until it's really going to be right in front of her of like, oh, this is a fun research scant. And I think the weight of the mortality of everyone else around her isn't really sinking in quite because she has such a longer lifespan than everyone else.
Got you. Halbor, what's going through your head here, other than nausea, as you approach this fabled island?
Halvor's mind is like a web page with too many tabs open. He's got one that says like magical research, one that says my favorite passage in my current book I'm reading, and then like 3 to 7 that are like this person at home needs help, this person at home needs help. One's a disease, one's like money, and all of these things run through his mind as he's like, I just have to make it. We need to do this to help. The world deserves help, and I've got the power to do it. As he like once again, as that runs through his mind, he's like thumbing a finger over his like book attached to his waist.
Oh yeah, Lothariel. What's on your mind as you sit here, below one new friend and several even newer friends?
I think Lothariel is probably thinking to himself, like, I wouldn't feel this sick if she didn't want to go on this quest, so... But if she's in it, I guess I'm in it too. He's very, feeling like, super nervous about everything because this is the first time he's on a ship. He's been cooped up a lot of his life, you know, like very secluded in his, travel, for most of his life. And, just came off some, like, fresh trauma. So, like, but it's kind of being plowed through by his, like, not confidence, but, like, just wanting to prove to himself that he can make a difference somehow, whether it's just in his life, whether it's in Abigail's life, whether it's, like, for the world, you know, on a huger scale, even though that seems a bit far-fetched, in his head, but just trying to combat nerves against the sea.
Morga, as you kind of look around and down at your companions here, you know, the 2-hour call has now been maybe 30 or 45 minutes ago. What's going through your head here as the clock's ticking down to the approach of this place and the unknown?
I know Morga's definitely feeling a huge wave of anxiety and nerves, because she's got a lot to live up to. She's coming from like a long line of very successful like warriors. She's definitely the outcast of her family, trying to just prove herself. So, setting out to prove yourself, knowing that your couple attempts may have caused, an avalanche and maybe a town fire, but it's still an option to put yourself out there. But the fear of failure definitely exists, and so she's probably like looking around the room going, okay, what do? I need to be strong, I need to keep this up, I need to prove myself to my brothers and to my family that I can do this by myself and I don't need somebody to come rescue me. So she's just taking deep breaths, just looking around the room going trying to keep it together.
I think all of you, to some degree, realize that failure is not really an option on this mission. Some of you more than others have seen the work of the Black Hand and have gotten to experience firsthand what this could mean for the world. But yeah, it seems like you guys are, maybe about half an hour out here from the jungle. Anything you'd like to do in this time?
I get up and I walk over to the edge of the other room, like away from everybody. And I just, like, facing away from everybody, I take off my mask. I just kind of, like, set down onto my knees. I just vomit ferociously into a bucket. kind
I
of.
think for the first roll of this campaign, I would like everyone else in this space to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh no.
Sorry, I tried to hold it. I just keep going
I
against the
got
waves. Why
an
are they going
11.
against it?
Okay, so it looks like 20, 11, 18.
Yep.
Halbor, you were already on the edge, man. You see Lothario go over there and kind of lose his lunch behind some crates, and you don't see it, but the sound of it happening, and then followed very shortly after by the odor coming now from behind those boxes of that bile kind of smell reaching your nose, and that is the absolute last straw for you as you also lose your lunch in this place.
I imagine I'm like fully standing, and it just does that little lean over, just like right off the side, doesn't move anywhere. And then once it hits, you see him just sigh, and like one of his hands goes to his book pulls up, his other hand flips through some pages, and then he recites these words, and the spot of puke immediately becomes clean as he casts prestidigitation because he can't stand the fact that just happened and wants to clean any spot of his puke immediately.
So do you do just yours, or do you walk over and also?
Just mine. I told him to hold it. He couldn't hold it.
All right.
That's his problem to deal with, unless he asks for help.
I just like wipe my face and then put my mask back on and turn towards everybody and go sit next to Abigail again.
I give you the dirtiest side eye.
I'm trying not to look.
It's just
I feel
The
your
whole
disappointment,
time.
and it's weighing on me heavier than you know. I'm sorry, B. I really tried.
It's all right. It's all right. I'd say with Abigail's night 18, she probably actually would have came over to where Letty was and just kind of like, all right, look, everyone got it out of their system. We're good. We're ready to get our game faces on. And she was like about to get up to start like hyping everyone up to like get them ready to like make landfall when everyone just decided it was time to. So she's gonna like, all right, we got it out. It's all right, everyone. We're gonna. It's gonna be fun. All right, we just maybe don't go into that corner, but we're good, right? We all got it out of our system. It's good.
Hope so.
I give one of those
pat
like,
on the shoulder.
and I give like a soft appreciative smile from like my little standing position because I've refused to move my feet.
Look at all three
Abigail.
of them. Oh,
Oh, go ahead. No, you got it.
I was gonna look at all three of them with a smirk, and make a funny comment saying, "I think they're bringing food over before we get off, so make sure to save room for that."
She's joking, right?
Totally joking. Totally joking. Trying to make light. You guys okay?
I'll be
Yeah.
fine.
I just need to get some sea legs eventually. It's like I'm being swayed extra bad.
Have any of you been on a ship before?
A few times.
I've always wanted to. I lived next to the docks, but this is my first time on one.
I've been on a ship,
boats.
but it was in a museum and it wasn't rocking so much.
Tends to be the water's fault, not the boats.
As you say this, it tends to be the water's fault. You hear some what sounds like shouting coming from the crew up up top. This is not abnormal. They're sailors, so you hear shouting from them all the time. However, you take a second to just listen for one more minute. This shouting sounds like a little bit different, and just as you all are kind of making this realization, the ship lurches, and you hear this this loud kind of wooden creaking noise as the ship tilts hard to one side. You see these crates that are bound to the wall by straps and ropes start to stretch, and like you hear the tension in the ropes as they shift from the side of the ship more towards the middle. You can hear them straining against those ropes. You hear the shouting from above. The ship groans loudly, and it begins to bank really hard to one side. And suddenly you hear and feel the ship slam into something. I need everybody to make a dexterity saving throw. Lithariel and Halbor, please do so at disadvantage.
Ouch. Oh my gosh.
Not bad. I wound up with a 14.
12.
12. Perfect.
4.
Nat
Morga,
1.
for you, yeah, the only ones you need to DM me are going to be your death saving throws. All your
Okay.
other throws you can just say out loud. So, one more time. What were those rolls? I apologize.
12.
Nat. Oh. I got a nat 1.
Okay.
Oh.
I got a 14.
With disadvantage, 14. Very good.
Yep.
Abigail?
I got 4.
Okay. So you hear this space. You're in this space. You hear the ship crash against something. You hear the sound of splintering wood cracking out from the north part of the ship, or towards the front of the ship. You hear water begin to start rushing into the space you're in. Morga and Abigail, you hear the straps that are securing these large, heavy wooden crates snap, and you guys can see as the ship is rocking and rolling, now getting hit by these waves, grinding against whatever it's hit. These crates start going flying, and the two of you are both struck with one of these crates and immediately go unconscious. As you take like severe head trauma now as this water is flooding into this ship. The other two of you have succeeded on this first dexterity check. Halbor, Lithariel, you look around, you see splintered wood, you see there is now a 3 inches of water on the ground at your feet and seems to be rising very quickly. What do the two of you do? You also see the crates fly through the air as the ship makes contact with whatever it's hit and knock out 2 of your companions.
I'm gonna run
process
over.
as they too kind of go flying.
Lothario runs over to Abigail and tries to pick her up at least out of the water. If I can like prop her up or something, and then take a look around and see what our best escape route is, if there is one.
Yeah, make an investigation check.
Halbor like panics. He goes through this like, what? How do I? What do I? I'm small, like, and then like would run over to the other new companion, to Morga, and like try to like slap her gently and be like, "Hey, I need you to get up. I am too small to carry you."
Just as you guys both kind of run over and get in the direct vicinity of the 2 that have been knocked out, the water is just filling up in this space. You hear another lurch, and Lithariel, you look over, and it's like one of those scenes where the boards have the rivets in them, and they're just starting to like pressure, and you hear ting ting as like rivets and nails fly out of these boards that are securing the side of the ship right next to the 4 of you. And you look up, and just for 1 second, time seems to freeze as you watch this last nail struggling and shaking in the board there, and finally it pops. The entire wall breaks loose. A torrent, a flood of water comes in, and you guys are all just tumbling now, and you are sucked into the ocean here.
I do my best in that moment to like at least grab on and secure Abigail, and just go tumbling in if I can even hold that kind of grasp.
I would imagine I'm the size of a dog to Morga, so I just cling on to her.
The force of the water rushing in and hit you guys, the two of you that were still conscious, it was like having the wind knocked out of you and you involuntarily inhaled. You guys float in this torrent of underwater tidal energy. Storm rages above you, and all you see is black. You think, this is it. We didn't even make it to the island. This is what they said would happen, trying to come here. And in this moment, you don't see anything. This is a black space, and all of you have your own perspective. You look around, you just see blackness. You don't see your companions here with you. You loosely have the sense even of your physical body being tossed and turned in the underwater ocean here, and you hear a voice and you see a figure appear before you, massive in your vision. If you get the feeling like if you were standing in a field, this would be the size of, you know, a castle wall. Figure standing here looking towards you, and you see a very unspeakably almost beautiful woman with blue-green skin covered in what looks like barnacles with long dark blue hair. She's adorned with pieces of jewelry on her wrists. She's wearing necklaces, earrings, pieces, you know, woven through her hair that all look to be seashells and starfish and things of that nature. If anybody would like to in this moment make a religion check, I would allow that.
Love to.
I'm mildly okay at that.
I got a 15.
I got a 22.
Oh.
I got a
13.
two.
2.
For natural.
Oh.
13, 15, 22, all good enough. This, the three of you believe, is Umberly. This is the goddess of the sea. This is a kind of chaotic entity, not necessarily someone on the forces of good or evil, but more of a force of nature type deity. Whatever happens, and it is the will of the sea. And this figure now, beautiful blue-green skin, looks down at you. Fools, broken and drowning, your pitiful vessel shattered like driftwood upon my tides. I would let you sink, as I have countless others. I would watch your lungs fill and your bones scatter across the ocean floor, forgotten and claimed by the deep.
What the fuck?
But the blood flowing in the wake of Bane offends me. It stains my waters, thick and foul. Corruption I will not abide. His war marches across the land, yes, but it reaches for the sea, for my realm, and I will not have it. I care not for your feelings, nor for your lives. You are nothing to me. But you are tools, and tools may serve a purpose. So I will spare you, not out of mercy, but necessity. You will rise from this tempest, not by your strength, but by my will. You will walk the land again, and you will work against Bane. You will help to drive him from the material plane, as he was cast out before. Know this, I do not grant favor. I grant reprieve. You are not chosen, you are used. Fail, and I will reclaim you. The sea remembers, and I am its fury. Now breathe, mortals. The tide turns for you, but only once. You guys, the figure disappears from your vision, and you just hear the sound of the ocean. Until an unknown amount of time later. Abigail, you find yourself coughing, choking, spitting up seawater. You can taste the salt in your mouth. You can also taste a little bit of, it's not so much a taste, but a texture. It's kind of like sandy. It's like dirt or sand is in your mouth. And you open your eyes. You see a beautiful white gold beach stretching out before you, but there's something kind of in the way, like in the foreground. You see the beach back there, but what is this? You reach up and you feel the fabric of a rope net kind of draped over your body as you're laying here in the sand. What would you like to do, Abigail?
I forgot how much I hate the beach. Okay, alright. She's gonna try and get up and dust herself off, and as soon as she figures out that there's no oncoming threat immediately as she stands safely, she's going to immediately start scanning the perimeter to see if she can see any either legs sticking out of the sand or heads or any other limbs and such of her previous compatriots, or even the crew. She'd just be looking for any signs of other people, kind of making sure that she's okay, and just immediately start like, hello?
Make a perception check for me, please.
That's an 18.
An 18 is pretty good. Yeah, you look around, you get a sense of your surroundings here. You can see the beach stretching out in both directions. It looks like maybe about a... you have a pretty good... It's like flat here, not a lot of hills in this part, down by sea level. So you have a pretty good line of sight, like as far as distance. And you can see maybe a quarter to maybe even half a mile down. You can see where it looks like there's water flowing from out of the trees into the ocean. So it looks like there may be like a river or something that reaches the ocean water there. And you see almost a wall of palm trees, of very tropical looking plants that just kind of at the edge of the beach inland. And you kind of follow that line of sight, and it looks like just very, very dense brush until like down there where the river seems to be coming out. As you look down in that direction, you do see more debris from you are assuming your shipwreck, but you're not really 100% sure. You do see some, what looks like, boards and maybe parts of barrels, clumps of seaweed that may be attached to some other things down towards that direction.
Oh, I had a question and I forgot it. Off to a great start, Abu. Okay, I remembered my question. Do we have our stuff? Like, would I still have, like, my sword and things, like, at my side, or would all that stuff be scattered?
You seem to have all of your belongings, and you think back to how you got not in the ocean anymore, and you think maybe that was part of the deal.
Fair enough. Oh yeah, she's gonna kind of turn around and be, thank you, I think. I'll do my end of the deal. Just kind of like out towards the ocean. Thanks. Turn around.
As you look out towards the ocean, you can actually see like what looks like a wooden mast-like pole kind of coming from the water there, about hundreds of feet out. Not exactly close to where you're at, but the waves just continue to crash as the ocean does not seem to give you you're welcome.
Right. Okay. She's gonna take out her sword and then start like calling out each of their names and kind of making her way down the beach, cutting at the brush when she needs to.
Absolutely, yeah. And I would say, yeah, you walk kind of toward the debris and the direction of what looks like the opening into the jungle. And yeah, you walk just a little bit, and you see a barrel that seems to be kind of like halfway buried in the sand, but it seems like the open end is exposed to open air, and you kind of peek your head in there, and you see a just coming to consciousness again, Halrod here in this barrel.
Ah, hello, little man.
Oh, I'm alive.
By the grace of a goddess, yeah.
I guess that's one small victory.
Gonna kind of reach a hand down to offer to like pull him out of the barrel.
I accept, and you see like two little legs kick as I like self-right, and you pull me out.
I imagine like a pill bug.
Well, that was thoroughly unpleasant.
I will say that the two of you definitely feel a little shaken up, but you feel that you are at full health.
How? I start doing that like look, and I'm like, how did we come away from that so unscathed? Normally,
You're the goddess.
I don't know what I believe I heard yet. I need to take notes, and I like look for my book really quickly and like open it and start jotting stuff down in it.
For a skeptic, I'd say being able to write on your pages is already proof enough.
I give you like one of those like long look up, and I'm like, it would seem that way, doesn't it? I'll thank the gods when we're out of this jungle.
Fair enough.
You guys both in the midst of this conversation are kind of talking. Halbor, you especially are kind of getting your first glimpses, climbing out of this barrel, looking around the beach, and you see that there seems to be like a net from the ship or some ship tangled up in like one of the first trees, like, you know, the first line of trees just as it touches the sand of the beach. You can see kind of hanging, there's a very large figure like tangled and hanging in this net from this palm tree there as well.
I kind of like gently elbow Abigail, probably in the shin, maybe a little higher. And I'm like, I think we found another one of our companions, and I'll point to the mass, and I'll be like, there's a couple of chances that's one of our friends or associates of the sailors.
You're lucky I'm no gambling woman, but I think you're right. Hello?
She's gonna yell up before like trying to get her sword right to start cutting down what she can reach.
Yeah, Morga, you hear a sound coming from the ground as you find yourself here tangled in this net.
I have a question. How high up am I?
You are, it's not really a tree with branches. It's like a palm tree. So it's like it's almost like you're like wrapped around the tree. And you're only maybe like, I would say your feet are almost touching the ground. Like you're like maybe 10 feet up the tree.
All right. She's gonna jolt awake, and her eyes are gonna get like really sunken, just kind of looking around, going, "What is going on?" And then just tries to go like this with her two hand to get herself out of the net to get off, and shuffle her way out. Asking for help, and if everybody's okay, going, what just happened? Why am I on this tree? Where are we? Why is it hot? I think there's a crab in my armor. Somebody help me.
I'm just like hopping, and I'm like, you're about out of arm's reach. The best I can offer is to light you on fire.
What?
No.
I mean,
Abigail's gonna try and cut very carefully so that she doesn't, in fact, send the palm tree launching Morga.
And easily enough, you are able to cut away this net, and Morga, you have just a short drop as you kind of land on the ground.
Okay. She's gonna get back on the ground and kind of like kneel down to be at both Abigail and Halbor's level, just kind of making sure, like, are you guys okay? I don't see any marks or anything. There's 3 of us. That means where's your friend, the one that threw up?
We don't
I
have
hope
to bring
that doesn't
that
become
up.
his legacy.
Oh, we don't talk about it?
I think that'll make him
What's
worse.
said on the ship stays on the ship.
The ship doesn't exist anymore, so I feel like that's fine.
Okay.
You guys are having this conversation, Morgan. You kind of like look around, and you notice that they're about another like 100 feet down the beach towards where the river comes out. You can see that there's like this pile of seaweed on the ground, but there's like a suspicious number of seagulls that look like they're like kind of pecking at the top of this seaweed.
Oh, I'm gonna look at everyone and say, I think we found our friend. And she's gonna run over, just randomly screaming to get the seagulls away. And,
as you run over, they fly off. And Lothario, you are 100% in this pile of seaweed, and you hear like kind of footsteps running, and you hear the sound of all these bird wings flapping off in unison.
Kind of like take my hands back off of like the top of my head and look up at Morga. You saved my life. Thank you. And kind of get up myself and like brush myself off, kind of take my flute off and like pour the water out of it and strap it back onto my belt there, and then is everybody okay?
Amazingly, it looks like we're in one piece.
Yeah, Abigail would probably have jogged up behind Morga, just, Letty, honey, are you alright?
I thought we were gonna die.
I'm
I
like
think
shouting.
that's what she wanted
from
us to think.
Yeah, who was
And
she?
I'm like, at this point, I've walked up now. I finally made it.
Note to self: pick up Halbor.
I was gonna make a joke earlier, like, I can see there's gonna be a lot of picking him up and running, and then we both got knocked out, and I was like, I guess it's gonna be them dragging us, actually.
Who was that? In the ocean.
I only believe in one god, but I feel that was Umberly.
I'll just say, like, it is in Faerun, it is kind of like understood that all these gods exist. You may only follow one, but if you want to be a person that doesn't believe in them, that's totally optional. But just so you know, and for the viewer and everything, like, the deities are pretty well known and have like talked to people.
I didn't really study
please continue.
I skipped a lot of my pantheonology classes. I think that's what it was called. I can't remember.
A pantheon?
Makes sense.
That's just
Yes.
theology.
Theology.
Plus,
that's what I meant to say.
there's at least 12 gods. We were lucky enough one of them didn't desire our deaths.
It seems enough of them don't like Bane to help out us little mortals.
I'll have everybody here make an insight check for me.
Oh. Oh my god, are you serious?
6.
A flat 10.
7.
7.
How did I get the best roll with the 10?
Well, and I think in this case it's interesting. I think these, maybe even the lower rolls, are more appropriate for this. You guys, like, a god talking to you is like, yeah, it happens, but it happens to like heroes, right? It happens to people that are out, moving mountains and fighting off, the threats that plague the world. So I think that the idea that you were spoken to by this deity, and for Lothariel, you don't necessarily know, but it's wild, and I think it impresses the weight of what's happening to you a little bit more.
Maybe more of them will be with us on our journey through.
My character's gonna just start brushing off armor and go, well, at least we have a second chance.
Very true.
Aye, the fact that any god desired us to still exist is a boon in itself. We must do justice to what we've been given.
Well, she said she'll take us right back if we don't. Extra motivation.
Yeah, I don't really like the ocean much anymore, so let's try not to do
Good
that.
thing we're surrounded by it now.
Great.
And on the high religion checks from before too, like those of you that rolled high on that check would know that this is not a kind. This entity, its deity, has never presented as kind. So the speech maybe not super surprising as far as tone.
I kind of give a shot at Lothario, and I'm like, she doesn't like us, especially you.
Doesn't seem so.
Because he didn't recognize her.
Lothariel's just gonna kind of take that comment in stride, and then start to kind of take a look around and scan the beach and the debris and see if I can see any other possible survivors from the ship or anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Make a perception check, please.
24.
Damn.
24 is great. Yeah, you get a good look. You kind of shield the sun now that is also, by the way, beating down on all of you. It's a beautiful day. It's not like Sahara Desert level hot. It's warm, but it's you've got like a nice breeze coming in off the ocean. Beautiful day. As you look around, you see a lot more debris. Much of this debris that you're seeing is not something that could be really hiding anyone. You see like one plank here, like even more destroyed barrel than the one that Halvor was hiding in or was found in. And really, the only thing that you see is that. You kind of scan the tree line as well, and you see that it's mostly very, very dense jungle. You can see palm trees and brown vines, mossy rocks cover the kind of floor, like big massive tree roots kind of weaving in and out of each other. You can see like some of the trees have like ivy with like beautiful like purple and yellow flowers sprouting out of it. You can see tropical birds, these like bright red and blue and green feathered avian animals perched in some of the trees flying overhead. But what you don't see are any other living things that are not birds. You don't see any humanoid creatures of any kind.
I think we're the
you do
only
see a
one-
crab crawling out as Morga is kind of dusting off her armor. A crab does like scuttle out of like the place in between her shoulder pauldron and like the first part of her like arm covering.
If I spot that, I'm just like, ma'am, let me help. And I'll go to like cast. May I cast prestidigitation and clean you up?
I'm just gonna panic. The crab just came out of my armor. And, I'm just gonna say, whatever gets rid of that thing. We don't have this
I'll
back
take
home.
him. Take the crab.
And I go ahead and use prestidigitation. You see like the same little hand with the book. Like the book pops up, the hand does this little like jazz fingers, and you feel a lot of the sand in places it shouldn't belong go away.
Wait, your hand or like a magic hand comes out of the book?
Mine. Yeah,
Oh,
my hand
okay.
does like little jazz fingers as my somatic components.
Gotcha. I was about to have some questions. What color is the hand? Can we see through it? No humanoids or anything. Clean uniform now, or clean set of armor, I should say, not a uniform.
We seem to be the only
Um,
survivors. That's a bit concerning.
Guess that means we're the integral part to the quest, no? Or at least we're stuck here till we're done.
Abigail, can you make an animal handling check for me, please?
My new little crab friend.
Should
With
we
it, I would
make-
say with advantage. Yeah, I mean you're a freaking druid.
And... Oh, that was almost a nat 20, but 19.
A 19. Yeah, he
Nice.
seems pretty content here in your palm. He's got the crabs have the eye stalk eyeballs, right? And he's just kind of like looking up at you. You see him, twitch one way or then another, independently of each other. It seems like, and he kind of looks up at you and like just gives you a little clap with his big claw.
We made one friend. That's a good start.
Normal size claw on this guy, by the way.
Normal size.
No soup for him today. I go back on
Indeed.
the sand.
This time.
Just gonna put him back like in the wake of the ocean.
Yep, and he kind of floats there and just kind of watches you guys.
Speaking of the ocean, should we make like a memorial for those who didn't make it? Or should we just carry on? We don't want to burn too much daylight, I guess.
If the legends of this island are true, we'll be making memorials for a very long time. Maybe that could be an after effect.
We also don't know what's on this island or where we are on the island, and the sun's only going to last for so long.
Oh, where should we start?
She's going to look around, her hands on her hips, going, trying to figure out which way is north.
Make a survival check for me, please.
I'll also take a look around and see if I can see any there wouldn't be any pathways on this.
Make a investigation check.
I would
11.
actually,
Looking.
and I think personally, I just look straight at Abigail and go, did anybody have like a map or anything of this place, or is it that uncharted?
You're the first, or we're the first.
Survival check.
11.
11. You're not sure. The sun is it's like almost right in the middle of the sky, so it's hard to at this specific time get an exact indication of which way it's gonna set or not, to give you more of an idea. No stars. The sky's too bright to see any stars right now. So you think maybe if you look a little bit later on, a few more hours, you'll get a sense of what direction the sun is setting in, and you may be able to get more of a sense of the cardinal directions at that time. Investigation check.
13.
13. Yeah, you're looking around. You certainly don't see any paths. What you do see is kind of what I described before. It's a very, very dense jungle for the most part. The only opening in the tree line you see is where it looks like that river is kind of coming down a few more 100 feet, in the direction down the beach.
Okay.
So you get the sense that you could either, make your way into the tree line and kind of fight through this dense jungle, or possibly go look down by where the river is, and you may be able to walk along the shore of the river a little easier than through the dense jungle.
B, what do you think?
But
Should
yeah,
we
you guys
follow
don't
the
know where
river?
you're at all. You have no idea. You don't know where what you're looking for is. You don't know where you are. You're on a beach.
If I had any inkling, treasure and the likes are usually either under or deep in the island, so only way through is through it, I think. I'm gonna take her sword out and just approach the edge of where the brush of the jungle starts, and she's just gonna do a cursory swipe to see if her blade's even strong enough to get through this ancient vines and stuff.
Yeah. So go ahead and make a unarmed attack roll. Or no, not unarmed. Make an attack roll with your sword. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I had a sickle instead of a sword for some reason, so I was trying to fix that suddenly. and then it was time for me to talk. So
Oh, I was gonna
as
say,
you
if you have a
steadily
sickle,
inward.
that's like made to cut through vines, so that might give you advantage. if you
Yeah,
have
it
a
just has
sickle.
like the lowest damage in like actual D&D, but it's fine.
I mean, either whatever
4.
you want, it's totally fine. With a 4, yeah, I'll say even with a 4, like there is there's a variety of plant life growing, both on the ground and through the verticality that is this jungle forest here. So there are some vines that are, this thick around. They're like, wrapping around the tree like some kind of like boa constrictor, and they're like a brown texture, and they've got kind of this like almost like hairy kind of feeling to them. But there are some smaller, more brittle vines. The cycle of life and death is very alive, which you would be very in tune with here as a druid. So there is older growth here that is more brittle. There's your strong green young growth here. It is certainly a mix. Having said that, you did not do much damage or make any kind of, it's like you went to cut and your sword got, an inch or two in, and it just kind of stopped. Like almost like you were all the vines and stuff kind of grappled your sword into that position, and you almost kind of have to like give a little extra force to like yank it back out.
I'd say that she'd probably try and use that to like survey the nature and be like, all right, need a different tool, and then she'd probably like go, and then she'd get like a more proper sword that I also don't remember how to. Rapier, that's the one she thanks.
Abigail, I'm actually gonna have you make another check here, and I'd like it to be insight with advantage, please.
My dice hate me today. 11.
I think for this check for your player character, an 11 is enough. You didn't pick up on it immediately, but as you, I think, are pulling your sword back out of the growth here, it hits you all at once, almost like a wave of energy, and without a shadow of a doubt, this jungle is Fey touched.
Oh. She's gonna immediately like kind of tense up, and I'd say the rest of you like immediately see her kind of pull back a little bit and be like, I wasn't ready for a homecoming, actually. I'm super on that.
What is it?
You get this. You know that you're not in the Fey realm, but you believe through this experience that you've had that you are. This island is. There's ways to get there, somewhere nearby.
I'd say she immediately just like that return of energy that she probably hasn't felt in quite a while. She has been out of the Fey realm for quite a few years now, and she just gets like a little cagey, and she's just like, It kind of like almost spoils her fun mortal side, like whimsy. Like she's immediately like, oh, all right.
Right, and you know better than anyone that the Fey is just as much a place of danger as it is a place of wonder. So.
I don't think I'm the only Fae among you at this current juncture, or at least not the only Fae energy on this island. There's quite a bit of energy at play here.
Is it the plants?
At the very least, if not more.
More.
Could I attempt to do like an Arcana check to see if I could pick up this energy?
Yeah, definitely.
Because if she's like this energy, my little wizard brain went, well, I don't know. I got a 23.
Nice.
So I would say with this Arcana check, what you're doing here is you are recalling knowledge of specific plant life, of the the way. And I think being a wizard, you've done a lot of studying, not a lot of practicing necessarily, but a lot of studying. And yeah, you pick up on it. What you see is a certain type of flower that you recognize from the texts that you've read that discuss plant life in the Feywild. And you're like, that does not look like a flower that I typically see. It sure does look a lot like that flower I saw in the Flora Feywild book.
And you see my like little cell notebook pop up, and I've got some calligrapher's tools, and I go digging, and I get a little quill, and I start jotting all these notes down. And I'm just like, Abigail, this is so interesting. You say this is proof that this is Feywild touched, right? And I'm like taking these notes on what the plant looks like.
She would absolutely just like very just like all the enthusiasm that she would have probably shared with you, even in brief, up until this juncture when it comes to like magic and like mortal history. She's just like, yeah, I learned this in school. That's a calidrium. That's a Gontran. You know, like just sprouting off the different like names for you and stuff.
John. I'm sorry this doesn't seem as enrapturing as it is to me. Jot.
It's quite all right. Just a little taste of home that I wasn't expecting.
Are you okay?
Yes, I don't quite miss the Feywild. I quite like you, mortal realm people, I have to be honest.
Do you think it's safe to go this way?
I'd say you'd all need to keep your faculties about you. Fey can start to make you lose what grips you have very quickly.
Will make you insane.
Okay. Well, I'll look up towards Morga. Do you maybe want to go first?
I have no problem going first. I've never encountered something like this before, but I hope that as I move forward, you can warn me before I approach something. I'm a little worried about our little friend here, so I'm just gonna kneel down and pat my shoulder, just say, "Come on, Halvor."
His eyes light up like he has never had that offer before in his 18 years of life. And he's just like, gentlemanly, he goes, "Are you sure?"
There's no way you can keep up with us. I am 100% sure.
Thank you very much. I'll be up there right now. And I like scurry up.
It's a personal observation deck.
So you can either go on my shoulders or piggyback. I don't know if I need to roll for anything for that, but otherwise you're just going to be 30 steps behind us.
I'm pretty sure I'm small enough to be a parrot.
Perfect. So she's gonna stand back up with Halvor on her shoulder and just grab her two hand and just start walking forward and having it at the ready, just kind of swatting at things as she goes, and looking back, making sure everybody's with her.
Yeah.
So are you guys cutting through the jungle, or are you making your way down towards where like the opening seems to be?
Oh, the opening.
Oh, I thought the opening. Never mind.
Sorry.
Ignore everything I said.
Ah.
The opening. We'll go there.
Yeah, closer to the
Okay.
opening where the river and stuff is.
So you guys, begin to make your way down this beach. You're walking in sand. If you've ever walked in sand, you know what that's like. It's your feet sink in and it's just a little harder. So you guys are kind of all trudging along, doing that funny walk through sand, making your way to this opening. And you go, a few more 100 feet down the beach, seeing some debris. You guys actually at one point look out and you see like a school of like some kind of fish that like jump from the water, go by out in the surf. And it's beautiful. The sun is, like the diamonds kind of across a blue blanket, if you'll let me reference an Incubus lyric, kind of on the surface of the water, reflecting that noontime sunshine. And you guys eventually make your way to where this opening is, and you see there is a river coming from out of the jungle. It is pretty wide. It's, I would say, about 10 to 15 feet wide. And yeah, you can see more of a cross section of the jungle now as you look down into the opening that this river has created. And there seems to be not necessarily a path, but maybe a game trail of some kind, but an easier way to walk on the just in from the like left side. If you're facing, that's like on your left of the river here.
Morgan's gonna look back at Abigail and just kind of go like this, trying to make sure that Halvor is still there and comfortable, and go, should we go this way?
I think so. I think we need to have a conversation. Why am I the leader? I'm not even from. I'm from here. I'm not from. You go. Never mind. Yes, let's go this way. It's just gonna readjust herself, take out her sword, and be like, fine.
I mean, aren't you good with plans?
Yes. Not leadership, but usually I'm like the guy in the back. They ask if this plant will kill them or not. But I guess there's a first for everything. She's just gonna like position herself and kind of like you see her do the same. Like she tried to give you guys the pep talk before, and you feel like she might have needed that as much as you guys did. So she's just kind of like, "Whew, all right, let's go."
Well, and Abigail, I think too, like, you know, there's probably a moment of you coming back and be like, hey, like, I'm this. So like, they're like, oh, this is a touch, Fey touch, like, and then this all looked at you at once.
I think she would have mildly panicked at that a little bit. She's used to being like the nerdy numbers guy in the corner for certain stats, and now it's just like, oh, I'm not follow. All right, I follow the leader. All right. Yes. I don't. Unless those fish are gonna fly out and kill us, I don't see any immediate danger. So might as well follow the natural trail. Best we have for now. Stay with each other, though. Do not separate. I don't care how cool anything looks. Stay together, please.
Take an additional step towards Abigail. Just like right at her back right.
You guys all take kind of one look back towards the beach, and the only part of this space that seems to be not completely surrounded by trees and vines and rocks and the sound of these animals. Turn back around and head down the path into the jungle. I would like everyone to make a survival check, please.
Ooh.
See, guys, this was my worry. I'm good at books. I'm not great at outdoors.
I've
Not the
never
best
had
either.
a dice roll cocked.
That's what I'm saying. I had that
It
last.
still tells
last
you
campaign.
what it was, though.
Does it?
Usually, I could be totally. I might be tripping.
Oh.
I had that happen to me a couple months ago.
It rewarded me. I got a nat 20.
Let's go.
With a natural 20, you guys follow this path. You guys are making your way alongside this river. You get this beautiful, kind of one of these kind of sounds going, right? As you make your way down this path. And I would say it was about, you think, especially with a natural 20 on survival now, I think you know a couple of things. You taken a second to look around, and you know that you are moving north. So you think that the beach that you were on was probably at the southern edge of this island. So that's the first thing you guys know. You have a direction now, at least. And I will say, you guys spend a good 3 to 4 hours making your way along this trail on the river. As you do, the sun slowly begins to make its way towards the horizon as well, kind of mimicking your movement into the jungle. And it's slow going here, even though you guys found what, is essentially maybe either a game path or some kind of, riverside trail here. The roots and the rocks on the ground, there's sections that are just kind of like covered in like a thick spongy moss that like your feet get caught in as you're trying to walk through here. You see a combination of plants that maybe you have seen before, if you had ever ventured down in more southern tropical areas of the world, but you definitely are all now seeing some plants, even you, Abigail, as the Fey Wild, even though this isn't the Fey Wild it's adjacent to, and there is just a unimaginable variety of plant life in the Feywild. So you're seeing stuff that is not maybe normally occurring in Faerun for sure. Nothing that you have identified has been remarkable or dangerous, particularly in any way up to this point. But I would say you guys make your way for that several hours, and just as you are all probably beginning to consider trying to come up with some kind of camp for the evening, you notice you guys are kind of scouting this like more open area, the kind of not a clearing by any means, but just a space where the trees aren't quite as dense. That's maybe like a 10 by 10 space, and you're starting to begin to think about, it's getting dark, do we want to set up for camp? And just as you're starting to have these thoughts, you see some large tracks on the ground, Abigail. And geez, with a natural 20, man, I will say they'll look very humanoid. They look like almost like human feet tracks, large feet.
What do you see?
Remember how we said we probably didn't think there were any other humanoids here? What does that look like to you? And she's gonna just kind of call attention to the tracks to the other three.
Look down at them and then take a look around to see if I can see any other kind of like evidence of people around us or anything like that.
Make a perception check.
How big are these tracks, like, compared to my entire body?
Very. They're large, for sure. This would be like, if you're looking at this track, you get the sense that it would be from like a very large man or humanoid of some kind.
16 perception.
I would say Morga, you look it down and you're like, that's a normal size. 16. You see a lot of dense jungle. You don't see any humanoid figures of any kind. You see like a squirrel.
What is with all you giant humanoids? How can your foot be half the size of my body?
How can your body
Even
be half
with
the
all
size
my
of the foot?
Because my brain is so big, it weighs me down.
I'm just gonna casually look a little to the side and just say, "Did you eat all your vegetables?"
Yeah, I look very sad for a second, and I'm like, I didn't get many.
That's a shame.
It's okay. We'll work on that. Maybe you'll get taller.
Which way do the tracks like head? Like from
further down toward the direction that you guys have been moving in. So like away from where you came from.
Okay, and then from like in the jungle or something?
It seems to be following the kind of
Same
natural path. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I study it any further to see if I could see how fresh the tracks are?
I don't think that you need to. With a natural 20, you can see that they are, you would estimate, natural 20, you think they're like 10 to 12 hours old.
And that would have been before our shipwreck, right?
Yeah, you get the sense that they were probably here sometime the previous evening or early this morning.
how actively dark is it? Like, are we talking it's dusk? Is like
The sun is
noonish?
beginning to set. You guys landed on the beach around noon, had to find each other, had some conversation about what you might do, tested the plant life, and then came to the decision to walk, and then walked for a few hours. So yeah, it's probably going on like 7 p.m. now.
As I like look from this footprint to our party, I go, should we get a light source, or do we want to try to travel more incognito?
Well, we don't know if this person is going to be very accepting of our presence. So maybe it's best to be a bit incognito.
I'm gonna assume outside of the four of us, anybody's an enemy.
Could be the keeper of the island. There has to be some sort of patron to defend it if it's so well guarded.
That's a good point.
As a pacifistic thought.
I like take another look around at everybody, and I'm like, so does that mean I'm the only one who can't see in the dark?
Oh. I forgot there were people like that.
I assume none of you guys had dark vision because you haven't mentioned it yet.
Oh, I do have dark vision.
I have dark vision.
I have dark vision. Misto, I have dark vision.
I do not. Therefore, my want of a light source is a little more contingent on my ability to be helpful.
Sure. If you need it, maybe a torch or something. But if we hear anything, it would probably be best to put it out immediately.
I got it. And she's gonna pull out a torch. Guessing she would have one. We all have them, right? It's part of the starting inventory.
I think so, yeah.
She'll pull it out and she'll just gonna hand it to Halvor. And then she'll just, if anything happens, she takes the fire.
As I say, and as you do that, I'm like, so we had similar plans. And I make the fire pop back with my fire play version of prestidigitation.
Nice.
It's on, it's off, it's on, it's off, it's on, it's off.
Please, you guys, draw attention.
Sorry.
Meanwhile, the big bad. What's that strobing?
What's that on the edge of the jungle over there?
I'm gonna look at Halvor and say, please don't burn my hair.
Never. Absolutely not, madam.
Okay. And I'm just gonna keep walking and gripping my weapon just in case.
While we're walking, I'm gonna just kind of creep a little bit closer towards Abigail and just kind of lean in. You know, B, I think you would make a great leader, by the way. You shouldn't sell yourself short.
Thank you, Letty. But I really only want to play follow the leader for the Lost Elves at this point. But I'll do what I have to get the Lost Elves back together, right?
And I'll be there with you. I just kind of start very, very softly, just like resting my fingers, kind of playing, not just plucking the harp strings, but just kind of like feeling the vibration underneath my fingers and just kind of tapping the strings a little bit. Just like kind of comforting myself walking along.
Yeah, so you guys continue down this river. You're now following these tracks. I will say, a couple more hours go by. The tracks continue, and it is very dark now. The sun seems to have set. You guys are deep beneath now this canopy, shielding most of the moon and starlight from you.
I look back over to Abigail and I just go, thank you for the torch.
No problem. Don't need it when your hand's one.
Just gonna set her hand and then snuff it out.
Feet are so tired from walking in sand.
Should we make camp?
I think that'd be appropriate. I'm gonna take a look around where we are. Maybe should we go into the jungle a bit or stay by the water?
I think the best idea we're gonna have is for each of us to post up in a tree. Safest.
I haven't climbed many trees, but I will give it my best.
I'll just place you in one.
Whoa! Oh, okay. As you kind of set me on a limb, like, please get your hands off me, and thank you, begrudgingly.
I'll say this: you guys kind of look in here as you guys are starting to. Okay, maybe this is a good spot. You kind of like, looking through your packs to see what you did get, like making sure you didn't lose anything in the commotion, and you do find that it seems like you were supplied with like what seems like a hammock. It's like a roll of fabric that's got kind of rope on either end.
Yeah, I'll just
So
probably...
you can all add a hammock to your inventory.
Let's go. Hammock. Probably just set mine near wherever B is set up, and kind of like take out my shoes, or take my boots off, kind of like knock the dust, the sand and stuff out of them. Take like my flute while I'm like kind of getting cozied up in my hammock, and just like use my cantrip mending just to kind of like rub over the polish of it, and just kind of like fix all the little dents and stuff that got in it from like getting knocked around and stuff.
Yeah, I'd say Abigail would also probably be pretty familiar with this kind of sleep setup on adventures, and she'd probably immediately get to work just kind of like stringing up her hammock and getting herself all cozy, probably taking off not all of her armor, but just pieces that'll let her like snuggle up for the night comfortably.
B and I
Morganson.
usually will take turns watch if we need to be out in the open. Is that something you guys would be interested in?
I would suggest it. I'm not sure what's in here just yet. And by the looks of Abigail's face when we first started, I'd rather be safe.
I'd say at this point Abigail's like hanging upside down out of her hammock looking at all of you. Just like too casual almost. Just yeah, I'm a night owl. I could take first watch. It's usually not too scary, but I don't really know what we're dealing with here, except for that it might be familiar, so who knows?
I'll take second.
DM, what kind of ground is it? Is it like dirt or sand still? I'm curious.
So the closer you get to the river, it becomes more of the kind of fine, silty, not necessarily sand on the river, but kind of that silt, that mixture of like dirt and sand and rocks that have been had water running over them for 7 billion years. And as you move further into the trees, it becomes more of like a almost black. It looks very good. It looks like really good soil. Like if you were like a gardener, this would be that spot. It's like that rich, dark black soil. It's got some of it is packed down, but there's other areas where it's kind of loose on the ground. And again, lots of vines, lots of roots, more on the ground, more so like roots. And there's definitely rocks. It's not. This is the wild. You know what I mean? The ground is it is not worked to be more comfortable or easy to pass in any way, shape, or form.
So then I will take a look at everybody going up in the trees talking about watch, and I'll just go, I feel a little more at home on the ground, and I would like to use one of my magic abilities to excavate a small hole and bury myself up to my neck. So I'm just like a small head
Wait.
sticking out of the ground. Yeah, easier to hide in the bushes, man. I'm pure white hair. I do not need to be in the trees, easier to spot. I can be much more comfortable in a bush. And
Um,
you see the like book whip out and the fucking stupid jazz hands start again, and I try to cast Mold Earth.
Okay. Yeah, I believe that you can just cast that. There's no like roll to check to make sure you cast it or anything. So yeah, you've. I'll say what you do is you find like a bush, right, and then you create like a small burrow,
Yes.
like almost like what like a like a meerkat or something would live in, and like you're like under this bush. I think like burying yourself up to your neck is probably very foolish.
Okay. True. I'm smarter than that. I just was thinking like a nice hole to duck and cover in.
Yeah, you in short
Minecraft
work are able to
hole.
get this burrow kind of dug out that's like kind of under this bush at the base of one of these like large trees that your companions are like stringing up hammocks, and you're able to kind of like you see some like leaves around and you kind of like rustle the leaves up a little bit to do actually go ahead and give me a survival check to see how good you can make this and like kind of make it hidden.
Not bad. I got a 16.
16 is great. Yeah, it looks really good. What are the rest of you doing, if anything, here before we take our first rest of the campaign?
Kind of just get
More
cozied
mythics.
up into my my bad. Go ahead, please.
No, you go first.
No, I feel like
You
that's like
good.
the third time I cut you off. Please go ahead.
No, it's really fine. I was just gonna say, I've never slept in a hammock before, so all you hear is just the shuffling of armor trying to find how to sleep in this thing. So you just hear and just cussing into the wind of what is this? I don't know how to do this, and then just the inaudible trying it again, trying to find a comfortable spot.
I'm kind of nestled in. Lothariel's nestled into his, and he has still the mask down, kind of over his face, and then it's just like facing up, with his harp on his like stomach, and just kind of slowly plucking at it and humming, a little tune, and through that, you kind of the breeze kind of picks up a little bit, and then Abigail, while you're listening to the tune that I'm humming, which you're very familiar with the tune, you get a little bit inspired. I'm gonna bardic inspiration you, since you're taking first watch.
Yeah.
So I'll say from here, Halbor, you're in your burrow, you're kind of getting situated, and you all kind of start to lull off. Abigail, you taking watch, but to this soft melody paired with the sound of Morga's shifting armor in her hammock as night falls over the jungles of Paldir, and that is where we are going to end our first episode.
Ooh. Into the thick of it.
Ugh.
Alrighty, thank you so much for watching this first episode of the Jungles of Paldir. We are so excited to embark on this journey of this story with you guys as well. One more reminder, just check us out on social media at Side21TV. You can find our Discord link below as well. And we will see you next time on Side 21. Have a great rest of your night.